day, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is Proverbs 14 in the Septuagint. Let's begin, shall we? Quote, "Wise women build houses, but a foolish one digs hers down with her hands." Stop! Be honest, sisters. And I'm not saying that there aren't some of you out there, so you can disassemble your phalanxes. How many of you sisters out there in YouTube land can honestly say the first part of these words of wisdom applies to you? Now wait a minute. Before you jump on top of your pedestal, I'm not talking about giving your all to someone everybody warned you not to get involved with in the first place. You know, that kind of guy it seems all of you inwardly dig. And you know exactly the guy I'm talking about too. Either the cat that has shown the world from junior high school he had no intentions on taking life seriously, or the guy that is just as superficial and status driven as you have been programmed to be. Just as pretty as they come. His outfit is more color coordinated than yours, smelling like lilac all the time. Sister, everybody knew you were flirting with disaster except you. So no, you got to chalk those type of relationships up to the learning curve game. But it was just a self-reflecting question. I didn't mean nothing by it. Let's continue. Quote, "He that walks uprightly fears the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways shall be dishonored." Stop! This one should be hitting the majority of the professed Israelites in the head. Why? Because as Mr. Hebrew 1 has thoroughly exposed, the mass majority of you are following, or as he puts it, under the kneecap of men who have no fear of Yah whatsoever. There is no way a person calling himself the comforter of Yah in the flesh can be walking uprightly and fear the consequences. There is no way a person calling himself King David reincarnated can be walking uprightly and fear the consequences. The same thing applies for anyone who can even remotely think Yah is going to sanction Israel to rape children and teach it as a main recruiting point, might I add. No way can these opportunistic pedophiles be walking uprightly or fear the consequences. While I'm at it, anyone who can beguile people to flee America and then flee with their money just can't be walking uprightly nor fear the consequences. But that was only my perception of wisdom. I don't mean nothing by it. Let's continue, please. Quote, "Out of the mouth of fools comes a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise preserve them." Stop! Surely we know there wouldn't be a genre called hip-hop if it wasn't for rods of pride. To show you I am an equal opportunity nemesis, all of the patriotism, flag worship, and the all-out arrogance of the common American public, yeah, even black people for some strange-ass reason, is one of the reasons America will be destroyed. Remember, this chick thinks she's the shit, and she has imprinted her image and likeness upon her subjects. But let's continue. Let me see if the chicks can perceive this next part. Quote, "There's no oxen where no oxen are. The cribs are clean. But where there is abundant produce, the strength of the ox is apparent." Let me read that again. Quote, "Where no oxen are, the cribs are clean. But where there is abundant produce, the strength of the ox is apparent." Stop! Allow me to ask you a question, gentle ladies of all colors, creed, and religions. When you heard that, what did you perceive? Though I have been labeled all kinds of bias, this and that, I perceive in our modern era, time and space, I perceive the strength of the ox is a real dude. And when you don't have a real dude, you and the children are lacking, taking, or in most cases, shaking down the system for handouts. But as the scriptures attest, when there is true prosperity, not having to sweat it out each election year, because everybody knows the Republicans are going to cut your benefits and severely restrict the social programs to where it mostly benefits white people. Yeah, that type of true prosperity. I perceive exactly what it says. When true prosperity is in the making, and you got food smoking on the grill, playing pinochle with all your friends, the strength of the ox is apparent. But again, that is only my perception of the passage. And of course, I didn't mean nothing by it. Let's continue. Quote, "A faithful witness does not lie, but an unjust witness kindles falsehoods. Thou shalt seek wisdom with bad men, and shall not find it. But discretion is easily available with the prudent." Stop! We got black Hebrew Israelite cults, camps across America, walking in the imaginations of their own hearts, looking like clowns and sounding like fools. Do you know why there are so many black Israelite cults? Camps around America? Wait a minute. Let me tell you before you twist your litty lips to say something wayward like Israel is growing. First, the so-called African American population has decreased millions of people from 2002 census. And that can only mean you are falling short even replenishing your ranks due to the elder demons dying off. And second, and most obvious, you guys are only playing musical chairs. All, and I mean all, of you wayward jackboot jackasses' core doctrine and style come from the same den of devils. One West ISUPK. And that can only mean you guys are only continuing to splinter, just like a rotten ass tree. Do you know why you guys are continuing to splinter like a rotten ass tree? Because there wasn't any true wisdom in the tree to begin with. That is why all of you have the same dogmas with a hokey pokey here and a hokey pokey there difference, and rip each other's guts up in the process. In essence, those caught up in your blasphemy, your madness, roam from place to place because, quote, "Thou shalt seek wisdom with bad men and shall not find it." Get out of these damn camps, people. Rely on Yah. Because if you can't come to Yah, where can you go? Trust Him, not some heathens and hexagrams. But let's continue, shall we? Quote, "All things are adverse to a foolish man, but wise lips are the weapons of discretion." Stop! When I Googled the definition of adverse, it said, doo-doo, preventing success of development, harmful, unfavorable, disadvantageous, unfortunate, untimely, dangerous, injurious, detrimental, negative, hostile, unfriendly, and ill-disposed. Am I the only person to notice? Each and every description fits the black community to the letter. A specific gender more than others, might I say. But I will let you use your wisdom to pick out which one. But I know you are saying this can't be talking about us, because we have so many highly educated colors in America, right? Yeah, right. I hope I am not the only person to notice the, quote, "But wise lips are the weapons of discretion" part. I will pass the baton of understanding to Ms. Reed on this one. She writes, quote, "Well, my understanding of wise lips are the weapons of discretion is that we must guard our tongue. Specifically, we've read scriptures which instructs us that there is life and death in the tongue, i.e., our speech can be like a sword used as a weapon, and our speech can also heal, keep a disagreement from escalating, soothe hurt feelings, things of that nature. Our speech, when language is used wisely, is a tool in our arsenal. In other words, dumbass, wait a minute, my bad. In other words, being responsible in what you're saying, the tone of voice. Wisdom is useless if we don't know when to speak and what to speak. But this is the characteristic of true wisdom, as opposed to just having knowledge or just having information or facts. Stop! Scooby-Dooby, wow, wow, wow. She just laid it on us. She will not admit it, but I think she was slamming me on my tone with the chicks. But if she doesn't mind, I would love to further her understanding with a personal observation. Brothers, sisters, agree quickly when you are in the way of your enemy. Guess what? The pure white Christian male, dirty white Muslims, and the hook-nosed crackers are your enemies. How do I know this, you ask? Because the scriptures tell us so. Yah gave us into the hands of our enemies, not brothers in colorless Jesus Christ or stand behind the kites. Get your minds right, people. Take some of that starch out of your backbone and it may go well with you. Your demand for pseudo-respect doesn't sit well with those who have the power, will, and are able to do harm to you when you are put into their sphere of influence. And their sphere of influence is everywhere. Now wait a minute. No, I'm not telling you to be the cracker's doormat. We's got rights now. But what I am telling you is, when it is within his rights to do harm to you or let you pass, they almost never do right by you. He is going to self-reflect. You chicks know about that, right? Well, he's going to self-reflect during the meetings about layoffs and promotions. Fellas, what good is popping off at the mouth at someone who has the power, will, and as history attests, able to kill you without being prosecuted? But wait! While on administrative leave, starts a legal fund on Facebook and is able to retire after being found not responsible for your death. I just don't get it. Yeah, inwardly, everybody knows I say, fuck the police. But outwardly, where his sphere of influence is at its peak, my sphincter puckers up every time he passes by. I think I know the problem. The cullets of my generation, Generation Cupcake, and especially these crazy-ass millennials, have no earthly idea how evil, wicked, and sadistic this cracker can be. They have only heard it in movies. Remember, they colored. The only thing they read is text, Facebook, Twitter, and their favorite sex site emails. Then when they are thrown out to the world, all cold, lonely, and scared, the wolves feast upon their weary bones, shackled in the white man's evil program devices to do exactly what they want them to do. You know, fight, scrap, and claw for the images they tell you are objects of success. But enough about my boy. Let's continue, shall we?